On this week's podcast, we discuss Embers of Change, a documentary showcasing the life of Sharne, a firefighter from South Africa's Cape Town, and her will and zeal to fight the recent Cape Town fires. With me is Jeff Mode. Hi, Jeff.
Hi, Kim. How are you?
I'm fine.
How have you been?
Good.
All right.
Yeah, so as I mentioned, we are discussing Embers of Change, and coincidentally, the run of the show coincide with International Women's Day, so it's very timely and apt to discuss this show.
Yeah, first of all, thank you for having me on the show, Kim, and a happy International Women's Day to all our listeners out there.
So straight on, I'd like to ask you, pegging this question to Sharne's life.
Yes.
And her story from what you watched in the documentary.
Yes.
How do you think women's contribution to firefighting is often maybe overlooked, and how can we highlight more roles on days like International Women's Day?
Fantastic. I think that's a really good question. And in terms of women firefighters, I think the world has moved on to a point where what men can do, even women can do it. Now we are seeing more female firefighters joining the force, and they can be able to do what the male firefighters can do. So for Sharne, she had this dream of becoming a firefighter when she was 9 years old, and she actually went through school and actually actualized her dream of becoming a firefighter. Been there, done that, then she quit, and then now she's training girls as young as 4 or 5 years now to start getting in touch and knowing what causes the fire and the ways of going on to become a firefighter, a female firefighter. So I think that works so well for to answer your question in terms of what can be done to get more women into this firefighting career. And I think that's a step in the right direction, just bringing it down to the girls, educating them, exposing them to such a career, and then we get the next generation of female firefighters.
Thank you for that. Taking you a bit away from aspect and women in men-dominated fields. So from the wildfires, what do you understand is the main cause of these wildfires? Are they caused by human directly? Maybe arsonry? Is it something natural? How do they take place?
Yeah, so studies have shown that most of the wildfires are caused by humans and our omission or commission, one way or the other. So we should focus on how to prevent wildfire by focusing on removing the fire hazards, practicing safe campfire practices, and being aware of your surroundings, especially during the dry weather. Right? So these are some of the things that we can be able to do to just make sure that we prevent the start of these wildfires, because we've seen how they start as a small spark, then they consume entire forests, and then if they are nearby towns, the wildfire will come down and consume it too. So we can be able to just do some of these preventative measures to make sure that we don't cause or become the cause of starting a wildfire.
Thank you. So being more aware of the weather,
correct,
climate,
yes,
and just being a guardian and taking care of our environment,
sure,
our immediate environment,
yes,
and that maybe will help protect the ecosystem. Thank you for that. So also maybe after these wildfires have come and have devastated our environments, what next? Or how do you rebuild rather? How do you rebuild after a wildfire?
Fantastic. That's a great question. Again, experts have shown us that after a wildfire, there are some things that you're supposed to do. Like, for example, always check if there are any hotspots or smoldering areas and vegetation in the forest, in and near the forest, because if there's any smoldering areas or hotspots, if the wind comes and blows on it, then the fire starts all over again. Right? In case the fire had already come into like your house or into the estates, make sure you inspect all the houses, the roofs, the outer parts, and to see if there are any sparks or any embers anywhere. right? Examine any homes for any fire damage, and in case of anything, just call the professional, the firefighters or the police, to just come and just reassess the situation. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for that PSA.
Thank you so much, Kim, for having me. Much appreciated.